You're probably wondering why my face is like this. And no, it's not constipation. My face is like this because BFA and the beginning of Pandaria is one and the same. The long rep grinds, the time gated content, and most of all, it's not constipation. Let's dive a little deeper of BFA so far. BFA started out with the thoughts, the energy, the power, the filled with hate, the void. Should Alliance go against the Horde, and should a Horde fight back against the Alliance? We were asked the question, why? Why are these fightings starting? Is it because of the new Azerite resource, or is it because something else? Well, for those of you who missed it, there seemed to be a small video on why the reason Sylvanas declared war upon our king, Anduin, after a short meeting. I don't know why that wasn't introduced in the game, per se, but there was a video, and you might have missed it if you didn't know why this war started in the first place. Now that we get that out of the way, should BFA be scrapped? Because I'm sitting over here by Crenzo Sparkshatter. He's a master scrapper, and he knows when to scrap things. So I ask this question to you. Should BFA be scrapped based off the Pandaria-like start of this expansion after what such a wonderful, glorious Legion expansion? That's my question to you. Feel free to answer that question in the comments, and let's get started with this video. BFA started off like a lot of other different expansions from WoW. I've been playing this for the longest time, and I do have to say this reminds me, as I said earlier, of Pandaria. With that being said, the beginning of Pandaria was not great. We were stuck farming for what felt like years just to get one piece of gear. Now, this BFA is however different due to the fact that Mythic Plus, since we've had Mythic Plus through Legion, that was a great addition to the game. It gave us another option over rep farming out of this world, and the game now is time gated, so we're not able to expand on the things that we want to do to make WoW one of the better games that it used to be. So with that being said, what is WoW BFA, and what do I rate WoW BFA? Well, it's going to come down to three different things for me. I play a lot of alts. So first, it's going to be alt friendly. And for alt friendly, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And the reason why I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 is because Raider.io, no, not Raider.io. Because at the beginning of this game, your alts were forced to do every single thing that your main had to do, which made your alt feel like you were playing on your main to get things done. The grind was horrible, in my honest opinion. Now, the reason it got a 6 and not a 2 was because 8.1 came out and made it a little more alt friendly for gearing, for doing a lot of different things, you know, that just the stuff that should have been implemented in the game from the start, you know. The second thing I want to touch up on, what makes a great game, is the raid gear, the raid tier. I'm a raider, PvEer, PvPer, I do it all. I enjoy both to the highest extent of what they can bring. And for the rating, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7.5, and that's just being honest. Some of you guys probably enjoying the raid right now. Some of you guys probably already completed it and said it's too easy. Well, if you've been playing as long as I have, you can understand how some of the raid mechanics have gotten easier, or and how they are still just some of the standard wild raids like that they used to be at the same time. So I'm not trying to be here to say what's harder and what's easier. What I'm here to do is tell you why I gave it a 7.5 out of 10, and that will be my score for the raid. I've been kinda enjoying No Deer. Laser Matrix is awesome. Like, that's one great thing I like about it, because we like the tier gear. Azerite gear was brought into this game. I kind of dislike Azerite gear, to be honest with you. Well, I don't kind of dislike it. I dislike it wholeheartedly, because it's not my Legion weapon. I fell in love with my Legion weapon. I fell in love with my tier gear, and not that all tier gear was great, but it was just something that you knew you would get from raiding, something that you knew you could depend on. But sadly, that's been taken out of the game for a new direction. Yeah, I don't like this direction. So, this raid tier, I gave it a 7 out of 5 because I still do enjoy the game. World of Warcraft, getting a group of guys and gals together and trying to knock down the boss with our swords and our magic. As you can see now, I'm on the Warlock, so it's going to be magic this time around. But when I'm on art, it's a sword. Next, the third point. You got to give me some good PvP, baby. We're sitting here talking about it's the battle for Azeroth. On everything that I want to do on this game, if you're giving me a title like Battle for Azeroth. Now, I know some of you guys are probably getting ready to, stop the video, run away because he said the words PvP. I hear that, and I feel you. But if this was to be the battle for Azeroth, I wanted to open this game up with a bang on forcing us to do at least one PvP boss in the game. And it didn't have to be versus the other players or the Horde faction or anything like that, which PvP stands for. What I'm talking about is like Trials of the Grand Crusader, the dreaded boss that a lot of people just dislike because it had PvP mechanics inside of it. It forced players to learn how to use their CCs and such. This would have been a great time for that to happen. But alas, it did not. And that's kind of why I gave that raid a 7.5 out of 10 back in that time. But we're working on the third thing now. BFA. War mode. War mode, I thoroughly enjoy war mode. I feel like it should be standard across the board. Like, no player is allowed to not play without war mode. But those are my thoughts. And I'm not going to force anyone who doesn't want to have the chance of a horde and ramming a sword up their ramshackle. I'm not going to do that. But what I want to say is, if you get a title like Battle for Azeroth, there needs to be constant battles, outbreaks everywhere. I need to be in a sense that if I leave town, everything, oh my god, it's pandemonium. Like, stuff is just boom, explosion here, boom, explosion there, hordes waiting to bust a cap, something. But see, all I've gotten was new zones. New zones do quests that most search for Jaina and try to build rep. Now, this can't be the calm before the storm, I guess. Like, because when we first start off, we're, as an alliance member, I'm gonna say this, we started off going against Jaina. We're trying to give her them do stickies. We're trying to hit her with the icky. Not Jaina, my bad, because that's my faction. But see, sometimes I want to give her that do sticky icky. We're going to move past that right now. Okay, thank you guys. We're facing up against Sylvanas. We're dang near losing the war at every step because she brought out the dreaded plague. BFA recap real quick. Boom. We're getting snuffed out. Anduin, young king, wasn't ready. In all honesty, he was not ready. So who we get pulled up? The big trunk Papa Jaina. Came out of nowhere. Man, get this little plague stuff out the way. Don't you know I'm a mage that can use dang near all tier magic? What? I know you see this ship pulling up. Ain't even no water here. But this ship is rolling up. I'm Jaina, baby. And boom, I'm like, yes. Yes, my chest is just beating because I'm ready for this. Even though I played it on PTR, I am ready for this. I'm ready for all the cinematics that they got to give. And I'm ready to get it. So boom, we make it through that. The battle for Lordaeron. We make it through the cinematics. Oh, glorious cinematics, what they were. Some of the animations just were a tad off. But see, you look past it when you're given good content such as that. Like the Warbringer stories. Great content. Put it in the game. I would love to play through the stories or to see the stories of just to bring some of the old things that we've known from the past in the lore. Just to give us a refresher. Like, what happened to scenarios? We could have went to a scenarios on why Queen Azshara did what she did instead of us getting the Warbringers. But see, I don't want to say that because the Warbringer was great. All those Warbringers were great. If you disagree, I understand. But those who agree, you know what I'm saying. So, with that being said, PvP. BFA, my final score on it. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And I know you might be like, well, you were close to 6s and 7s. Yeah. I PvP, I arena, I battleground. I do a lot of those things. But what I wanted to really feel was the battle for Azeroth. That's what I wanted to feel. But I didn't get that feeling. Even with War Mode. I haven't turned War Mode off since the day I've started. And we're outnumbered over here on the Alliance. I don't know what it is about the Alliance, even though we was forced into this fight. But it seems like some of the people still don't want to fight. So that should have consequences with a title like Battle for Azeroth. I think our main cities, like besides the point of the Horde coming on War Mode, I think they should have allowed that to happen even in PvE. So they can come to the town, pop the trunk on the kings and all the quest givers and stuff like that, because we have too many people who do not want to fight for the Alliance. We'll scream for the Alliance doing PvE, but we won't do it for PvP. So we should have black eyes, purple heads, all type of stuff. I don't know. But anyway, getting back to it. The Battle for Azeroth. How good is the expansion? So for my score here, I'm gonna stick with like a 6.25 overall. And for World of Warcraft, all I need is a 2 to play it. I'm gonna be honest with you. My subscription isn't going anywhere. I supported this game for the longest of time, and I'm gonna continue to do it until the ship sinks. Now, do I play other games? Yes, I do. I play a whole lot of other games. But the one thing I'm not gonna talk about is abandoning the game that I've played for so long that got me through a lot of the stuff that was going on in my life in my past. So with that being said, should you abandon it? Because if you don't have any emotional attachments to the game, you get what I'm saying? You don't have to play it. With a 6.5, a lot of you people should be gone if you don't like what you're seeing right now. You know? But if you do, and you want to believe that 8.2 is going to change the game, switch it up, man, stay here, because I'm going to be here. And when you see me, just wave. I'll wave back. And with that concludes my thoughts on BFA and all the things that made me rate it with a 6.5, which is my final score. And even though that concludes that, I still want to talk about how BFA is similar to Pandaria in a way, because Pandaria was another controversial expansion that kind of did the same thing, that BFA did, which made things feel so sluggish. Not enough content. If it wasn't for Mythic Plus, I'm telling you guys now, it would feel like there is no content at this point. And Pandaria had no Mythic Plus, so you could feel it in your bones. Now, did I like Pandaria? Oh, yes, I did, baby. Warlocks got so much love in that expansion, baby. So, some of y'all most heard the expansions. It's one of my favorites, but all my favorite, hands down, Wrath of the Lich King. If you wanted to know, feel free to comment in the comment section below. Let me know which was your favorite expansion and why. Like, you can really elaborate. And if I have the time, I'll talk with you about it. I'll type you back. Like, that's what this is about. This is about the WoW community, nothing else. Thank you guys again for watching my channel, subscribing, and liking my videos.